Hello, this is Robin Gunning again, reading a final selection from Longfellow's poem, The Song of Hiawatha. The Wooing of Minnehaha, Laughing Water. As you remember, after his epic battle with the west wind Mudjekeewis, Hiawatha paused in the land of the Dakotas to buy arrows. And there he fell in love with the arrow maker's daughter, Minnehaha, Laughing Water. As we continue the story, Hiawatha has just entered the arrow maker's wigwam, bringing with them the gift of a deer. Straight the arrow maker looked up gravely from his labor, laid aside the unfinished arrow, bade him enter at the doorway, saying as he rose to meet him, "Hiawatha, you are welcome." At the feet of Laughing Water, Hiawatha laid his burden, threw the red deer from his shoulders, and the maiden looked up at him, looked up from her mat of rushes, said with gentle look and accent, "You are welcome, Hiawatha." Very spacious was the wigwam made of deerskins dressed and whitened, with the gods of the Dakotas drawn and painted on its curtains. And so tall the doorway, hardly Hiawatha stooped to enter, hardly touched his eagle feathers as he entered at the doorway. Then uprose the Laughing Water from the ground, fair Minnehaha, laid aside her mat unfinished, brought forth food and set before them. Water brought them from the brooklet, gave them food in earthen vessels, gave them drink in bowls of basswood, listened while the guest was speaking, listened while her father answered. But not once her lips she opened, not a single word she uttered. Yet as in a dream she listened to the words of Hiawatha, as he talked of old Nokomis, who had nursed him in his childhood, as he told of his companions Chibiabos the musician and the very strong man Quasind, and of happiness and plenty in the land of the Ojibwas. In the pleasant land and peaceful, after many years of warfare, many years of strife and bloodshed, there is peace between the Ojibwas and the tribe of the Dakotas. Thus continued Hiawatha, and then added, speaking slowly, that this peace may last forever, and our hands be clasped more closely, and our hearts be more united. Give me as my wife this maiden, Minnehaha, Laughing Water, loveliest of Dakota women. And the ancient arrow maker paused a moment ere he answered, smoked a little while in silence, looked at Hiawatha proudly, fondly looked at Laughing Water, and made answer very gravely, "Yes, if Minnehaha wishes. Let your heart speak, Minnehaha." And the lovely Laughing Water seemed more lovely as she stood there, neither willing nor reluctant. As she went to Hiawatha, softly took the seat beside him, while she said, and blushed to say it, "I will follow you, my husband." This was Hiawatha's wooing. Thus it was he won the daughter of the ancient arrow maker in the land of the Dakotas. From the wigwam he departed, leading with him Laughing Water. Hand in hand they went together through the woodland and the meadow, left the old man standing lonely at the doorway of his wigwam, heard the falls of Minnehaha calling to them from the distance, crying to them from afar off, "Fare thee well, O Minnehaha." And the ancient arrow maker turned again unto his labor, sat down by his sunny doorway, murmuring to himself and saying, "Thus it is our daughters leave us, those we love and those who love us, just when they have learned to help us, when we are old and lean upon them. Comes a youth with flaunting feathers, with his flute of reeds. A stranger wanders piping through the village, beckons to the fairest maiden, and she follows where he leads her, leaving all things for the stranger. Pleasant was the journey homeward through interminable forests, over meadow, over mountain, over river, hill, and hollow. Short it seemed to Hiawatha, though they journeyed very slowly, though his pace he checked and slackened to the steps of laughing water. Over wide and rushing rivers, in his arms he bore the maiden, light he thought her as a feather, as the plume upon his headgear. Cleared the tangled pathway for her, bent aside the swaying branches, made at night a lodge of branches and a bed of boughs of hemlock, and a fire before the doorway with the dry cones of the pine tree. All the traveling winds went with them, o'er the meadows, through the forest. All the stars of night looked at them, watched with sleepless eyes their slumber. From his ambush in the oak tree peeped the squirrel Ajidamo, watched with eager eyes the lovers. And the rabbit Wabasso scampered from the path before them, peering, peeping from his burrow, sat erect upon his haunches, watched with curious eyes the lovers. Pleasant was the journey homeward. All the birds sang loud and sweetly songs of happiness and heartsease. Sang the bluebird, the Owisa, happy are you, Hiawatha, having such a wife to love you. Sang the robin, the Opiji, happy are you, laughing water, having such a noble husband. From the sky the sun benignant looked upon them through the branches, saying to them, O my children, love is sunshine, hate is shadow, life is checkered shade and sunshine. Rule by love, O Hiawatha. From the sky the moon looked at them, filled the lodge with mystic splendors, whispered to them, O my children, day is restless, night is quiet, man imperious, woman feeble. Half is mine, although I follow. Rule by patience, laughing water. Thus it was they journeyed homeward. Thus it was that Hiawatha to the lodge of old Nokomis brought the moonlight, starlight, firelight, brought the sunshine of his people, Minnehaha, laughing water, handsomest of all the women in the land of the Dakotas, in the land of handsome women.